Do I need a heat mat? Do I need grow lights? Which grow lights do I need? If you too have asked yourself these questions, let's find out together. Welcome to MoggyBoxCraft. I'm Deborah, and today I've got a grow light experiment. But before we get into the grow lights and heat mats, first I'm going to show you what I'm going to be trying to grow indoors in Scotland in February. These are the seeds I'm going to be growing today. I'm just using multi-purpose compost. Remember to label your seeds so you know what you're planting and where. First up, we've got all year round lettuce, early long purple 2 aubergines, wow that's a mouthful to say, sweet red skin F1 peppers, some hot fiery chilies, I can't pronounce that, I thought they looked pretty cool in the packet though, jalapeno peppers, some more jalapeno chili peppers because I'd forgotten I'd already bought these. They look different on the packet, so I guess we're just going to grow them both and see if they're any different. And lastly, some cayenne chilies. These are pretty old. It says so by the end of 2019, but I have them, so I might as well give them a go. On to the soil seeds and apparatus. For this experiment, we have a control group. The seeds with the black markers, they'll be in the same room, same trays, same compost, same amount of seeds in each. The difference being, in the control group, we're going to use no heat and no additional lighting. Our second propagator has 2 sides. Everything's same again, except these ones have pink writing, and on this side they have green writing. And I've created this beautiful divide using cardboard and kitchen foil. Very professional. With this tray, we're going to be using heat mat, and at each side I'm going to use a different light. So on this side we're going to be using the colourful lights I've got to show you, and on this side I'm going to be using a whitish light. We'll go on to that in a minute. This is my heat starter mat. The heat mat warms the root area by up to 20 Fahrenheit above the ambient air temperature to improve germination and increase the success rate of seedlings and cuttings. We need this in Scotland. How big is this thing? It is 20 by 10 inches. So I think this mat was 20 quid. Power 21 watts. I've never used a heat mat or growing lights before. Often I've found in the past I've either started my seeds far too early, so I'm hoping I'll have less leggy seeds, so my seeds will germinate better, because often I found things haven't germinated. Maybe it's because I've got old seeds, or maybe because they haven't been warm enough, and they're mostly always very leggy, so maybe this will help. So it's like a tiny little floor heater for seeds. And on here it does mention eggplant, it's an aubergine. Lettuce, peppers, well peppers are practically chilies, aren't they? Same. I suppose the thing to remember is don't electrocute yourself. Don't put it near water. I'm going to be placing my mat under my propagator, and hopefully the heat will rise through the plastic. So I got myself 2 different types of grow lights. These 4 bendy light things seem to be super popular, but after reading a whole lot of reviews, I'm not quite convinced they do a whole lot. So I thought, you know what, let's just buy them, see what goes. So I think these ones are about 16 or 17 pounds. These lights are a fun old situation. Get your sunglasses on, right. Oh, that's quite bright, isn't it? So we've got an array of colours. So we've got red, blue, and then the pink. Both the lights are basically on together to make this purpley pink colour. We've got a little controller here, on off. And then we've got a timer button here. This one here changes the colour of the lights. And this makes them brighter or dimmer. So this is the 3 different light modes and what they are used for. So apparently the blue light is supposed to be good for the germination stage. The red light contributes to effective germination, flowering, and enhances photosynthesis. And the blue and red together hastens growth of indoor plants. So to give this a fair chance, I'm just going to use them at the highest brightness with every spectrum of light on. They also have this handy dandy clip, so you can like clip it onto your table or your windowsill, and then you can position the lights. So I mean, if these don't work out growing, I'm going to use them in my living room window for my plants there, because I think it'll kind of look pretty. Moving on to my next light. T5 HO combo light. So one of the things I kept seeing mentioned when I was researching lights and growing, the ideal Kelvin, 6500 Kelvin. So these are 17 watts and 6400. It's the closest I could get to. This is what the light looks like. Seems pretty bright. This light seems to be a little bit more substantial in reviews, but we will see. And this was about 26 quid. Let the grow light experiment begin. Pop my grow mat onto the table and switched it on. gonna pop my seeds on top, trying to make sure they're centered and even. There's a little bit of space here and here, but at least the first 2 rows will get some heat. So I'm going to go ahead, cover up all the seeds with a tiny bit more compost, and then get them all watered in. To make this as fair as I possibly can, or as realistic as I possibly can, I am going to be putting the control seeds in my windowsill where I normally would. These will be the control seeds, the ones with the black markers. They're in the propagator, in my windowsill. There is a heater just below, which will just be on normally. It's not going to be any hotter or cold than I normally have it for this room. I'm just going to go ahead, pop the lid on, and see how they get on. So we've got our heat mat down here. I've popped that right in the middle there. I'm going to pop on my propagator lid. On the side with the pink writing, I'm going to use these 4-prong lights. I've attached the lights to the table and then just bent them so they're all facing down into the propagator. This light I'm just going to pop on top. Might have to tape that in place as well, I think. Make sure these lights don't move anywhere. I've also got this lovely bit of cardboard so we can separate the lights further. So I think my setup is complete. I have a beautiful piece of cardboard here. I've used a whole load of masking tape. This is going to be an absolute nightmare to water, but never mind. Hopefully this means none of these lights will shine on this side and vice versa. Day 1 growing with the coloured LED lights. What is it called? Sunblaster light. Day 1 of growing seeds with a sunblaster light. Day 1 for the control group. I've got a few rules for this experiment. Rule 1, how long do we leave the heat mat on? There's no instructions to tell me how long I should leave this on for, so I'm going to go do a bit of research and find out. I'll either leave it on for 24 hours a day until the seedlings appear, and then I'll turn it off. Rule 2, I plan to leave these lights on for 12 hours a day. The coloured LED lights can be timed for 3, 6 or 12 hours, so I'm going to time them for 12 hours. On my sunblaster light, I've got a timer to use, so I'm just going to set that for 12 hours. I shall check on them every 24 hours and see what happens. For the love of plants, please work. In the comments, let me know which light do you think is going to be better. So we're 4 days into the experiment now. So on the side with the pink labels, we have an aubergine seed sprouting. I've got 2 seeds sprouting in there. This is how all the seeds are looking. Not much movement on this side. On to the sunblaster side. I think this is the worst setup ever to try and get into. What's going on in here? One of the jalapeno seeds is sprouting down there. Can you see the little seedling in there? Tiniest little seedling. And an aubergine seedling. Well, that's good so far. That's how the lights are getting on. On to the control group. So far for the control group, nothing to report. No seedlings have sprouted. Oh well, we will continue to wait. So I'm going to close these vents up again. So I've decided to leave the heat mat on 24 hours a day until we get some more seedlings. Then once we get some more seedlings pop up, I'm going to take away the heat mat and let the lights do the rest. 6 days and 19 hours since we started growing these seeds. I'm in the process of changing the setup a little bit, but we'll get to that in a minute. These are the seeds with the sunblaster lights. We've got a jalapeno, another jalapeno, jalapeno. We've got aubergine there and here. So far I would say they're doing pretty well. They are looking pretty leggy though. On to the seeds with the LED coloured lights. We've got a jalapeno. A couple of those hot chilies are starting to come up. I think there's a red skin pepper seedling just there. And a couple of aubergines. A week in, and I would say they're pretty even. Might have been how close to the surface the seeds were. But again, I think these are a little bit leggy. And this is the control group. Absolutely nothing that I can see is popping up. Oh, actually, I don't know if that little green splodge there is anything. Maybe. I've decided to move them to my living room windowsill. Just because I think it's going to be a little bit fairer. Also because I'm starting to redecorate my craft room / videoing room, and I need to clear a space. The control group is going to stay here. I am going to have a piece of cardboard separating the 2 propagators, so hopefully that piece of cardboard will stop any light interfering from over here onto the control group. I've still got the heat mat under the propagator here. The heat mat is on 24 hours a day, and I'm going to keep it switched on until all the seeds have popped up. My biggest concern at the moment is that seedlings are too far away from the lights. So here is my genius plan. I've popped all the seedlings in this propagator onto Tupperware trays just to keep them a little bit higher. That's the top propagator will be, and the lights will be here. So hopefully the seeds won't be reaching so much for the light. That's the plan anyway. Green labelled seeds with a sunblaster light, pink labelled seeds with the LEDs, and cordoned off with a piece of cardboard is our control group. And this is my new setup. So as this video is getting quite long, I'm going to leave it here for the moment. If you've enjoyed this growing experiment so far and my setup, leave a like, leave a comment. If you'd like to see how this experiment with the grow lights progresses and how the seedlings get on, subscribe and follow me for more riveting content or something like that. Or more gardening and crafting content really. And I will keep you updated very, very soon. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!